Hi, this is Bill Allen of Thoughts with the Sensitive Man. Today we're focusing on surviving 2026, a grounded guide for highly sensitive men. If you're a highly sensitive man, and 2026 already feels heavier, louder, or more demanding than past years, you're not imagining it. This year is placing unusual pressure on nervous systems that are wired for depth, awareness, and emotional attunement. Sensitivity does not make these times harder because we're fragile. It makes them harder because we register more of what is happening beneath the surface. The question is not how to toughen up or shut down, but how to stay grounded and functional in a world that feels increasingly unstable. Today I want to talk about 2026 and what it's asking of sensitive men, the risk we face if we ignore our limits, and how we can move through this year with steadiness rather than despair. There are several forces converging at once. First, economic uncertainty. Many men are carrying financial pressure, job instability, or fears about long-term security. For sensitive men, financial stress does not stay compartmentalized. It touches our sense of responsibility, identity, and safety. Second, political instability, polarization, outrage cycles, and constant conflict place sensitive men in difficult positions. We tend to value nuance, dialogue, and complexity, yet we are surrounded by certainty, aggression, and simplification. Third, environmental and weather-related stress. Climate disruption creates a background sense of threat. Sensitive men often have a deep connection to nature, so ecological instability is felt emotionally and physically, not abstractly. And finally, there is confusion around masculinity itself. We are seeing a resurgence of rigid, traditional models of masculinity that leave little room for emotional depth, reflection, or restraint. Many sensitive men feel pushed to the margins of cultural narratives about what it means to be a man. None of these pressures exist in isolation. Together they create chronic stress that sensitive nervous systems pick up immediately. The greatest danger for highly sensitive men in times like this is not fear, it's unprotected exposure. Constant information intake, emotional overengagement, and pressure to respond to every crisis can quietly exhaust our capacity to think clearly or act wisely. Many sensitive men mistake depletion for moral responsibility. We believe that if we care less, we are failing. But empathy without regulation leads to burnout. Awareness without boundaries leads to paralysis. Engagement without rest leads to collapse. This is where many sensitive men get stuck. Self-care is often framed as indulgent or optional. For sensitive men, it's structural. Nervous system regulation through rest, solitude, nature, movement, and reduced stimulation is not retreat. It's maintenance. Without it, sensitivity becomes overwhelm rather than guidance. This year requires a shift in mindset. Caring for yourself is not stepping away from responsibility. It's what allows you to remain useful to others. Think of it this way. A dysregulated nervous system cannot offer clarity, wisdom, or steadiness to anyone. One of the most important practical steps sensitive men can take in 2026 is to radically reduce unnecessary information exposure. More news does not equal better understanding. Constant updates amplify fear without increasing agency. Sensitive nervous systems are especially vulnerable to emotionally charged media. Choose fewer, more reliable resources. Limit how often you check them. Give your mind time to integrate rather than react. Your depth requires space. Empathy is one of the great gifts of sensitivity. It is also one of its greatest risks. Not every pain is yours to hold. Not every crisis requires your emotional participation. Compassion does not require self-erasure. The work for sensitive men is learning to be present without absorbing, to care without carrying what is not ours. This is not withdrawal, it's maturity. Sensitive men are not meant to dominate unstable times. We are meant to steady them. This begins with the oxygen mask principle, often seen in airline travel. Stabilize yourself first, then help others. When you're regulated, rested, and anchored, your presence alone becomes productive. This is how sensitive men contribute in difficult years, quietly, thoughtfully, reliably. 2026 is not asking you to become harder, it's asking you to become steadier. These are demanding times, but they are not hopeless ones. History shows that periods of instability often precede cultural recalibration. Thoughtful men rarely make headlines, but they shape outcomes in quieter ways. Sensitivity, when anchored, is not a liability. It is one of the few capacities capable of holding complexity without losing humanity. So walk forward awake, care wisely, and stay grounded. Thank you for listening to Thoughts with a Sensitive Man. If you found this episode valuable, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us reach more highly sensitive men and those who care about them. Until next time, take good care of yourself.